Hi everyone, welcome back to your mat, welcome back to your practice. Today I have a more chilled out, kind of mellow flow for you. You don't really need any props. If you want to grab a blanket, please have one close by for maybe some stuff towards the end, or if anything's going on in the knees, you can have something to pad up. Also, we're going to be sticking pretty low to the ground today. So you can have blocks if you want to, because there will be a portion of the practice that we will be upright and we'll be flowing just a little bit, but not too much. So if you want to have blocks, have those handy. Otherwise, find a seat on your mat and take a moment to close your eyes. Maybe start to rock from side to side, kind of get all the fidgets, all the wiggles out of your space, of your body. We aren't going to be here for too long, so just allow your eyes to close and a few breaths in through your nose, maybe out through the mouth. Letting go of anything that you don't wish to be with your practice and with you for these next 30 or so minutes on your mat. Let's take another inhale together and an exhale to let it go. One more time, big breath in. And a full exhale out of the mouth. Awesome. Go ahead and start to blink. Open your eyes. Let's make our way to child's pose. So any version of child's pose that feels the best for you. So you can take your knees super wide apart, bring your big toes to touch. If that doesn't feel good in the hips, you can also bring the knees a little bit closer together and sink your hips back that way. I am a fan of the wide kneed child's pose, so I'm going to take that. Walk your hands a little bit forward towards the mat. If that doesn't feel good, you can always stack two fists or grab one of your blocks or your books, whatever props that you might have available to you. I'm going to stay somewhat upright so I don't muffle the microphone. And just allow yourself to chill here for about 2 breaths, knowing that you can kind of drop back, take a moment to observe and notice areas of the body as we flow. And again, this flow isn't going to be super intense, but there will be stretching elements to help you get into the hips and just kind of warm up the body a little bit. So let's start by walking the hands over to the right side of your space. Whether you're on a mat or if you're just on carpet, just keep walking the hands over towards the right and then just feel your chest sink down towards the earth a little bit more. Pulling this left hip down in space. Maybe the left fingertips walk a little bit further past your right hand. If that happens and it feels good, that's a big stretch through your left side body and especially into the left rotator cuff on the arm. You can also bring the left hand on top of the right. And finding a few breaths here. And then bringing yourself back to center, walk it through. And let's take this over to the left. And so again, just feel this big side body stretch through right side. Hands can be apart and just hanging out next to each other. You can always walk those right fingertips a little bit further or bring your right hand over top of your left. I kind of like to clasp my fingers if I take that option, but you do whatever feels good in your body. Again, noticing how this feels in the right side body, especially into that right rotator cuff. This can get pretty intense right here, especially if you're really tight there, which I am. So I kind of make sure to honor my body and not go too far because we don't want to cause any pain. So just noticing what you're feeling. And then bring yourself back to center. Go ahead and tent into your fingertips, and then just feel your chest drop towards the floor. Your head can fall in between your arms. Taking a few breaths here. Creating a little bit of space through the upper back. And then plant your hands. Roll yourself up into a tabletop position. And just take a few moments to kind of find a little free-form movement. Moving side to side, wiggling the hips. Maybe moving forward and back if that feels good in the body. You choose. Choose your own adventure. Just taking 5 more seconds here to move however it feels good in the body. And then from here, again, rooting down through the palms, really feel your fingers spread. Feel all 4 corners of your hands pressing down. Let's just take a few cat and cows. So tucking the toes, inhale, lift your heart, lift your gaze. Let the belly drop towards the floor. Exhale to press and round through the upper back. Bring your chin towards your chest. Maybe let the head drop. Inhale, arc through the spine. Drop the belly. Exhale to press and round upper back. Let's take 2 more of those. Your own breath, your own pace. So you can go as fast or as slow as you'd like. And then make your way back to that neutral position tabletop. Let's send the left leg straight back. Stay up onto the toes. Press out through that heel. Get a stretch through the back of the ankle and the back of the calf. Pull your belly in and up. So find that core engagement as you lift your left leg straight up. And then send the left leg over to the right side of your space. If you're on a mat, it's most likely coming off of the mat. And really just press your right hip out towards that right side. Gaze out over your right shoulder. So you're going to get a big stretch through the right hip. Maybe lift up onto those toes a little bit more. Maybe press that left heel away. And then sweep this left leg straight back behind you. Keep it lifted. Find that core engagement. Sweep your right arm forward. Find a little spinal balance here. Keep pressing down through your left palm. And then right hand comes to the floor, left knee comes to the floor. Let's just take a little sway. And then find 1 cat-cow. Inhale. Exhale to press. Right leg sweeps back. Stay up onto the toes. Press out through that heel, through the back of the calf, the ankle. And then find that core engagement. Already start to lift the belly in and up as you lift the right leg and sweep it across the body towards the left. Again, if you're on a mat, you're most likely coming off of that space. Pressing the left hip towards the left side and gazing out over your left shoulder. Take a few inhales, few exhales. And then bring yourself back. Sweep that right leg up. Take it straight back. Flex into the foot. And then left arm reaches forward. Thumb points up towards the sky. Take a big inhale. And then your exhale, bring your left hand down, right knee to the floor. Take a few moments here. Let's just fan the fingertips out to about 45 degrees, I suppose. So we're not totally out to the sides of the mat, but we're up towards like the front corners. And just find a little movement. So you can move front to back. You can move side to side here if you want to, or just take a few circles. If this feels good in the body, stay exactly where you are. If you want a little bit more, maybe starting to turn those fingertips out to the left and right sides of your mat. And then taking the fingertips maybe a little bit further back. So instead of straight back to the knees, those fingertips pointing, maybe they're pointing towards the sides. Once again, maybe you're swaying from side to side. Maybe taking some circles. And if you're really feeling this in the wrists, you want to give it a try. Turn your fingertips all the way back towards your knees. And then find a little movement here. If you want to, you can start to send the hips back towards the heels and maybe lift those heels of the hands up off of the mat. And that you'll get a big stretch through the forearms, through the wrists. And then crawl everything back to face the front. Tent into the fingertips here. Really press down and lift your chest away. There is a core engagement here, so pull everything in and up. Feel it activate. Exhale, take your elbows out wide. Drop your chest. Let's wrap those elbows back towards our body as we climb back up onto those fingertips. Exhale, take the elbows out wide and drop the chest. Roll the elbows back, and we're going to do that one more time. Elbows out wide as the chest drops, and pull everything back. Awesome. Plant the hands, kind of shimmy yourself back a little bit. Start to make your way onto your belly. So we're going to find a finger stand cobra here. So that's climbing up onto your fingertips and letting those elbows reach up towards the sky. If this doesn't feel right in the body, just come up onto the palms. Sometimes it can feel kind of wonky in the very beginning of your practice. So just honor what's going on. Roll the shoulders back, press down through the feet, and then inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, lower it down. Noticing what's happening here. Inhale, use the breath. Exhale, wave it down. We're going to do that one more time. Inhale. And exhale, lower it down. Awesome. Plant your right palm underneath your shoulder or a little bit beyond. Pull your left hand back towards your mid-ribs. Press yourself up and roll over onto your right hip. Your legs are going to stay extended out. You can bend the knees if you want to, if that feels nice in the body. Walk the right hand forward. Press that hand down and away from you, and you'll feel this whole right side body kind of descend down towards the floor, and you'll get a big, deep stretch. Keep up onto that palm, but just let that right elbow bend a little. Maybe your right ear comes to your right shoulder. Continue to find a little bit of breath in through the nose, maybe out through the mouth. Straighten into that right arm so you'll feel everything kind of lift up. Pull your left foot and step it to the front of your right thigh. You're going to sweep your left fingertips back towards your right toes. Again, press down and away from you with that right hand. We're in this little varied horizon lunge. You can also rest your left arm on top of your left thigh or just keep it upright. Let it float. And then sweep this left arm up and over your left ear as you slowly start to make your way back. Extend that left leg back out behind you and roll back onto your belly. Let's find those finger stand cobras. So if you want to climb up onto the fingertips, feel free, or stay up onto the palms as you lift up. Cobra pose. Exhale. Let it go. We'll just do one of those. Left hand comes a little past the shoulder. Right hand presses back towards your mid-ribs. Lift yourself up to roll over onto your left side. Again, knees can be stacked or you can extend the legs out nice and long. Walk that left hand away from you. Press down and away. Feel the whole left side body kind of drop. You'll feel your right side waist cinch in. Right fingertips can just tent right in front of your body. If you want to, stay up onto the palm and just bend that left elbow. Maybe the left ear comes to the left shoulder, but if that doesn't feel good, just keep the head fairly neutral. Use your breath. See if you can come down with this left side body a little bit more. And then we're going to find that modified horizon lunge. So press down through the hand, straighten into the left arm. Right foot steps in front of your left thigh, and you're going to sweep your right fingertips back towards your left toes. Just a breath or two here. Big breath in. Exhale to let it go. Start to make your way back onto your belly. So however you need to get there. And then palms underneath the shoulders. Let's just take a regular cobra, pressing into the feet, lifting the chest, pulling the elbows close into the sides of the body. Keep the neck nice and long. Take an inhale. Maybe grow a little taller. And then your exhale, tuck your toes, press into your hands, lift up and back. Let's take child's pose. Take a moment here in child's pose to kind of move side to side. Awesome. Climb back up onto the knees. We're going to step our left foot to the front of our space. Take a moment here to climb up. Find this low lunge and just start to find some movement. So just dropping the hips and then pulling them back. Dropping the hips down and pulling everything back in space. So keep finding this movement. Let's sweep the arms up towards the sky and then exhale down as you pull the hips back. This left leg doesn't have to work straight. It's just whatever feels good in the body as you find free movement. Inhale to sweep up. Exhale. Let's do that one more time. Inhale and exhale. Awesome. So from here, we're going to come into like a modified warrior two shape. So shift everything over towards the right. So this back foot is going to pivot over towards the left as your upper body moves towards the right long edge of your mat. Adjust as you need to. So maybe this right knee needs to come away from that front leg a little bit. And once you drop down into this warrior two type shape, again, find that movement front to back. And then let's pause in that modified warrior two. So sending the fingertips out nice and long, find your warrior two arms and just settle right here. Dropping in, feeling your left toe root. Pull your belly in and up here. Drop your shoulders. Nice, let's find a side angle variation. Left elbow to the top of your left thigh. And your right arm is going to reach up and over. Nice. From here, we're going to come right into a modified side plank with this left leg lifted. So shift everything over. I like to pivot my right foot so that it starts to kind of point towards the front of my space. Root down through the right hand, lift your left leg up. So you can tuck into these right toes. Find a little bit of that balance. And then bring your left hand to your left waist. Send your left foot forward, let the toes tap to the floor, and sweep your left arm up and over. Bring your left hand back down to your waist as you sweep your left leg straight back behind you. And cactus your left arm back behind. Start to rotate the chest, gaze up underneath and up towards the sky. And then re-extend into that left leg. Maybe you find a little wobble. Left arm reaches up. And then let's climb all the way up. So bring this left foot down, climb all the way up into your gate pose. So if you need to, bring your fingertips to the floor, kind of shift and make everything work for you, right? So you can always just move your body. So as you come into these shapes, don't be afraid to kind of wiggle and move around. Left toes can be up towards the sky, or you can pull your left heel down towards the floor. You decide what works best. We're coming into gate pose. Left hand down your left leg, right arm reaches up and over. And then again, just like we did, rebend back into your left leg. So we're back in that warrior two modified shape. Bring your hands to the floor, swivel this right leg back towards the back of your space, and adjust as you need to so you can come back into that low lunge pretty comfortably. Bring your right fingertips to the floor. Left arm is going to sweep up towards the sky. Maybe find a few circles with that left arm. Back stroking, maybe taking it in the front direction. Maybe a little bit of both, a little combination. And then sweep everything back up. Big breath in, arms to the sky. Hands to the floor as you send your left knee back to meet the right. And you find a little movement side to side here. Let's take this all over onto the other side. So send your right leg forward. Find that low lunge. Find some movement. Maybe dropping the hips a little bit, pulling everything back. Again, this right leg doesn't have to be straight. We're just kind of pulling everything in that direction. If you want to, float the arms. Listen to your creaky floor with every movement. And then we're going to open ourselves into that warrior two shape on this side. So bring your fingertips to the floor. Give yourself some room to move and some space so that you don't feel like you have to get in one spot in one movement. That's not how this works. So again, start to drop, settle everything down, find some movement here. Let's find our warrior two shape. So sinking into that right leg, arms float out to the sides. Gaze out over your right fingertips for 3, for 2, for 1. Right elbow to the top of your right thigh. Let's sweep this left arm up and over. A little modified side angle pose. Sink into the hips a little. Drop down. And then we're going to find that modified side plank over on this side. So adjust as you need to. I like to kind of pivot my left toes back towards the front of my space. Maybe adjust into the knee, float your right leg up. I'm feeling a little off balance today, so I need a little support. Maybe you're the same. Bring your right hand to your right waist. Send your right toes forward. Pause, and then sweep your right arm up and over. Right hand to your waist. Lift your right leg, send it straight back behind you. Cactus this right arm as you gaze up towards the sky. Bring everything back to center. Inhale. Dropping your right foot to the floor, peeling yourself up, using your core strength to do so. Again, adjust if you need to. Make your way into that gate pose. Right hand down, right leg, left arm reaches up and over. Let's make our way back into our low lunge. So swivel back. Adjust if you need to. Climb up, inhale. Exhale, left fingertips to the floor. Right arm reaches up. And maybe you take some circles. For this last one, bring yourself up. Big inhale. And the hands are going to come to the floor. You're going to step to the front of your space. So tuck the back toes under, lift up, and step your left foot to meet your right. Forward fold. Take a few moments to kind of sway, move side to side. Let's find a few halfway lifts. So slide the hands up the shins, lengthen out halfway. Exhale to fold forward. Twice more. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. Inhale, lengthen out. And exhale to fold. Bend into your knees. Start to rise all the way up to stand, reaching those arms to the sky. And exhale, bring your hands by your side, mountain pose. Take a moment here to just lift and spread the toes. Find a nice tall stance. Settle back into your breath. Maybe roll the shoulders. Give yourself a few seconds here to just kind of maneuver. We're coming into figure 4 chair. So left foot roots down. Pick your right leg up. Cross your right ankle over top of your left thigh. Press your right knee away and bring your palms together at your heart. Maybe this is where you stay. If you want a little bit more, start to sink the hips back like you're coming straight back into that chair. If you want a little bit more and you know it feels okay in the body, maybe bringing your elbows towards the top of your right shin. We're here for another breath. Find your balance, pull your belly in, and lower the right foot to the floor. Inhale, sweep it up. Dive it forward on your breath out. Find that half lift. Hands to the ground, or go ahead and use your blocks here for support as we step the right foot to the back of our mat. Stay low in this low runner's lunge, pressing out through that back heel, reaching the heart and the crown of the head forward. On your exhale, pull your hips back, work your left leg towards straight and fold. Feel your right hip wrap forward, your left hip pull back. Taking a few breaths here. You can stay with this flat back, or you can work towards folding over your left leg. Let's rebend into your left knee, gaze forward. Pull everything back in space as you work your left leg towards straight once again. Let's find that 2 more times. Inhale. Pull it back, exhale. Last one. Inhale. Draw it back, exhale. Nice rebend, gaze forward, and step your right foot to meet your left at the top of your mat. Find a half lift, inhale, and an exhale to fold. Root to rise all the way up, reach up. Arms by your side, and release. Let's find that figure 4 chair on the other side. So root down through right foot, pick your left knee up, cross left ankle over top of your right thigh. Maybe just press your left knee away. Maybe this is where you stay today. If you want a little bit more, sinking the hips back, flexing into the left toes, maybe dropping elbows down towards your left shin bone. Take a breath. Let it go. Find that core engagement as you rise up. Bring your left foot to the floor. Inhale to sweep and exhale to fold. Half lift. Hands to the floor or use your blocks. Let's step your left foot to the back of your mat. Land in your low runner's lunge. Take a moment to just kind of squeeze everything together in through the midline and then pull your hips back to work your right leg towards straight. Again, you can stay with this flat back or start to work on folding over the leg. Let's find that little flow. So rebend into your right knee, gaze forward. Exhale to pull the hips back, right leg work straight and fold. Twice more, inhale. And exhale. Last one, your breath, your movement. Very nice. Rebend back into your right knee whenever you're ready. Plant your hands and send yourself back into a brief downward facing dog. One full breath. And your exhale lowers you to your knees. Send your hips back, sit back onto your heels, and just take a moment here to kind of pause. Let your arms rest by your side, palms rest into your lap. Let your eyes close, let go. Nice, so we're gonna come into lizard on the left and the right side. So let's start with the left. Bring your hands forward. Left leg extends back. And send that foot to the outside edge of your mat. Tuck your back toes, lift up and pull that right knee back. Give yourself a couple of moments here to move. I like to kind of move and settle into my low lizard lunge. So you do what feels best. We're not going to be here for a really long time. So if you want to have your hands on top of books or blocks to bring the earth a little bit closer towards you, take that option. Maybe your hips are feeling pretty good at this point and the hands are on the floor. So you choose your own adventure once again. Settle into the hips, so drop down. We're going to be here for 5 breaths. Feeling a little space getting created into that right hip flexor. Using every breath to maybe drop down a little bit more. Maybe give yourself a lot of space. But don't feel like you have to, right? So just noticing how your body responds to each shape that it comes into in any of your yoga practices. Don't feel like you have to fit some sort of mold to be able to practice or to get into a particular position. Let's take one more breath. And then on your exhale, you're going to shift your hips towards the back of your space as you work your left leg towards straight and send those toes up towards the sky. This might be nice here to grab a few blocks or books to have up as you come into this wide-legged half split. Rebend into your left knee, gaze forward. Exhale to pull the hips back. Left leg is going to work straight. And then one more time to rebend. And exhale to pull back. Very nice. Let's go ahead and heel toe that left foot back and send it straight back into your tabletop position. So we can do this all on the other side. Send your right leg back. Keep it lifted. Pull your right knee in towards your right upper arm as you step your right foot to the outside edge. Mine always goes way out to the side, so I just kind of heel toe that baby right back in there. Tuck your toes, lift that back knee, and find some space. So start to wiggle and move. When you feel ready to kind of settle into your lizard lunge, feel free. I'm going to use blocks on the highest position on this side. I'm feeling kind of tight on the right side today. Every day in our yoga practice is different, so always recognizing that portion in your body. We're here for another 3 breaths. Being the captain of your own ship, letting yourself guide a little bit deeper if it feels right. Last full inhale. And then find that exhale. Climb up onto hands or use your blocks. We're going to find that wide-legged half split. So pull the hips back. Right leg works towards straight as you send the toes up towards the sky. Rebend, inhale. Using your exhale to pull it back. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Rebend. You can move those props out of the way. Slide your foot over towards center point just so you can slide it back to meet your left knee. Find a little movement. How do the hips feel? Feel pretty good to me. So from here, we're going to come into frog position. So I'm going to turn towards the long edge of my mat so you can see me. If you want to stay exactly where you are, feel free. If you want to grab 2 blankets, if you're on a hardwood floor or on a carpet and you don't have anything underneath, the carpet will probably be fine if you're going to do this. But if you have something hard underneath you with no support, blankets can be really helpful here. So I'm going to give you two to 3 options to come into your frog pose. So if you like your wide-legged child's pose, go there. So bringing the big toes to touch, take your knees a little bit wider apart and just come down onto the forearms. And that's where you'll stay. Instead of reaching the arms forward, we'll just stay onto the forearms here. You can also stay in the same position and walk the knees a little bit wider if you have that space. And the big toes are still touching. Frog position is when you take your legs out so that your ankles and your feet are kind of parallel to your knees. So this is pretty intense into the hips. I think I'm going to grab a blanket to put towards the back of my mat so I have something to rest my feet on. So those are your 3 options. We're going to be here for a bit. You decide the intensity that you wish to have. If you want to grab your blocks or your books and rest forearms on top, that brings the earth a little bit closer towards you. Take whatever position feels good. Take a few moments to kind of settle in. And settle your hips back. We're going to find 10 full breaths wherever you've decided to land. Maybe you let your eyes start to drift closed. If you're in the more extended frog position and it starts to feel a little bit uncomfortable after a while, you can always take it down to that second layer or that second option that I provided with just bringing the feet, the 2 big toes to touch. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Sometimes as we stay in these shapes, a little bit more intensity can occur. But if it borders on to the point of pain, that's when you want to back off, and you need to learn to recognize that in your yoga practice, and that just comes with time. here for another several breaths. So just allow yourself to kind of soften. Notice where you are. Meeting yourself where you are. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Last one, big inhale. Exhale through the nose or open mouth. So do not come out of this super quickly. Give yourself some room and some time. So climbing up onto the hands. I kind of like to take my hands out to the side and slowly start to bring my big toes together. If they're already together, just slowly start to bring the knees towards each other. Whew. I love frog pose. I don't do it enough. We don't do it enough in class. So let me know if you want to continue to do frog pose in my regular in-person classes or even in my live classes. Let me know. Just come to sit back onto the heels. Let your eyes close. Maybe the palms rest into your lap. Noticing everything that's going on in your low body. And then come forward. Let's rest down onto our belly. So if you want to take your blanket and place it underneath you, you can take that. Otherwise, you can ditch the blanket, move it out of the way, and just come all the way down. I'm going to stay a little bit lifted only because, again, I don't want to smother the microphone. But we are going to come into Sphinx pose for just a brief portion. Shift yourself back if you don't have enough space. Like me, root down through the hands, through the forearms. Press down through the tops of the feet. Feel an engagement happening here in the belly. Feel everything pull up and in. Press down through the hands and then feel like you're pulling the floor towards you. And that's going to reach the heart forward towards the front of your space. And your shoulders draw back. Let's take 5 breaths here. If there's anything going on in your low back and you're feeling it really intensely at this point, you can always, instead of just pressing and pulling everything upright, just put a little dip and take your gaze forward and shift towards the back of your space. So instead of pulling everything forward, just let everything be a little soft and loose. Find a little bit of core engagement and then see if you can come back up into that Sphinx position. Take one more inhale. And then your exhale lowers you to the floor, bending into your knees and just finding a little swish of your legs from side to side. So I'm going to give you the option of laying down right here and taking the rest of your practice, your Shavasana. If you are done for the day and you would like to move on, I set you free. Otherwise, you can bring your elbows out to the sides, maybe make a little pillow with your hands, and drop your head to rest onto the palms or onto the hands. Maybe take a moment to kind of shimmy the hips side to side, just kind of loosen up anything else that's happening in your back. just give yourself some time to chill. Taking a couple of deep breaths, whatever you've chosen. So if you'd like to stay on your belly and just kind of be here for a little bit, stay there. If you'd like to come to your back and take a more traditional shavasana, you can take that. But I will leave you exactly where you are, whatever feels the best in the body to end out this practice. So thank you so much for practicing with me today. Just bow your head, be grateful for your breath, for your body. And I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. I will see you in the next video.